Question number 2. We have been told 3/8 of an estate is allocated for coconut cultivation and quarter of the estate is allocated for mango cultivation. 3/4 of the remaining land is allocated for pepper cultivation and rest is for cinnamon. Right. Question A. What fraction of the whole estate is remaining after allocating for both coconut and mango? So coconut plus mango. What's coconut plus mango is? Coconut is 3/8 of the estate plus mango is 1/4 of the estate. Now we got to make the denominators the same. So 8 and 4's LCM is 8. So 4 get turned into 8. And this gets 2. This becomes 2. So it's 5/8. So 5/8 are allocated for cinnamon plus mango. Then what is remaining for other purposes? What's the remainder? From the entire thing, 5/8 are gone. So what's remaining? That's 3/8. Right. Question B. What fraction of the whole estate is allocated for pepper cultivation? So let's see what have they said about pepper. What have they said about pepper in the paragraph? They have said 3/4 of the remaining land is for pepper. So pepper, that's 3/4 of the remainder. 3/4 of the remainder, that is 3/4 of what's the remainder? Just a while ago we found out the remainder is 3/8 of the entire land. I would even when we are writing the answer for A, I would prefer writing in this way: 3/8 of the whole land. That's the better way to write the answers. 3/8 of whole land, whole estate. So 3/4 of, and what's the remainder? That's what we found in A. That is 3/8. 3/8 of the whole land. Right. So is there a possibility of cancelling? No cancelling. Then simply multiply. 3 times 3 is 9. So that is 9 over 32 of the whole estate. So what is used for pepper? That's 9 over 32, 9 out of 32 of the whole estate. Right. Question C. Extent of the land portion allocated for mango cultivation is 1.5 acres. All right. So for mango, so they said as a fraction, they have said quarter of the estate is for mango, and now they are giving that the extent of the land allocated for mango in terms of acres. Using this data, find the extent of the land allocated for pepper cultivation. All right. Let's see how to do this. So question C. So the extent of the land is extent of the land for mango. So extent of the land allocated for mango cultivation. We have been told it is 1.5 acres. So let's write that 1.5 acres. Acres is a unit that we use to measure the area of land. Like we have square meters, like square centimeters to measure the area or to express the area. Another measuring unit that we use to express the area of land is acres. For big estates, for big lands, we use the unit acres. But remember, acres is not a standard international unit. The standard international unit is square meters, but we use acres when it comes to massive, huge lands to express the area. Right. So extent of the land allocated for mango is 1.5 acres. We also know the extent of the land for mango in terms of a fraction. What is it? We have been told 1/4 of the estate. So 1/4 of the whole estate. 1/4 of the whole estate is equal to 1.5. Then how do we find the extent of the entire estate, the whole estate, the whole thing? That is 1.5. Division 4 goes other side. What does it become? This division 4 goes other side. Becomes a multiplication 4. And of 1, of acts like multiplication. So when of goes other side, what does it become? When multiplication goes other side, it becomes division, divided by 1. So the whole land's extent of the whole land is 1.5 times 4, which is 6 acres. And 6 divided by 1 is 6. So the entire thing is 6 acres. So the question is, what is the land that has been allocated for pepper? So pepper, we know in question B we found out extent of the land allocated for pepper is equal to, we have found out that's 9 out of 32 of the whole estate. So that's 9 over 32 of the whole estate's extent. The extent of the whole estate we just found out. What is it? 6 acres. So what is allocated for pepper is 9 out of 32 of 6 acres. We can cancel, right? 32 and 6, both of them are, both those numbers are even numbers, so can cancel by 2. That is 16 and 3. So we get 9 times 3, 27 over 16 acres. If you are given as a mixed number, you can leave this. You can simply say the extent of the land allocated for pepper is 27 over 16 acres, or as you can go for a mixed number since 27 over 16 is an improper fraction. That's 1 and 11 remaining. So that is 1 and 11 over 16 acres. So the amount of the extent of land allocated for pepper is 1 acre and 11 over 16 acres altogether. This is one way of doing question C. Some of you would also prefer doing in columns. That is, you put 2 columns. One is for the fraction. One column is for the fraction. Other column is for the extent of the land or the value. So what is the value represented by 1/4 of the estate? So 1/4 of the estate. We have been told 1/4 of the estate. How did I get this 1/4? The fraction. That's what they have said. What is allocated for mango? So what is that? What is the value represented by 1/4 of the estate? Here at the bottom they have said 1.5 acres. So 1.5 acres. right? So that's 1/4. And what are we supposed to find out? We're supposed to find out the amount of the extent of the land allocated for paper. So what is a fraction for paper? That's 9/32. All right. So how do we do this? There are two ways to do this. One way is we got to convert this 1/4 to 9/32. How can we do that? The only tool you can use is multiplication. Using multiplication, how would you turn 1/4 to 9/32? So in order to do that, let me do that down here. That's 1/4. Eventually what you need to get is 9/32. So first let's get rid of this down 4. To get rid of this down 4, what do? We multiply by 4. If it's 1/4, you multiply by 4/1 so that you can get rid of both 4 and 1s. Then what you need is 9/32. Then multiply by 9/32. So now what happens? 4 to 4 get cancelled, 1 to 1 get cancelled. So what we get is 9/32. So in order to change 1/4 to 9/32, what we got to do is we have to multiply first by 4/1, then by 9/32. So if you do that to the fraction column, you got to do the same thing to the other column, the extent of the land column. So what do? It's 1.5 acres. The same thing what you did to the column which is in the left hand side, the fractions column. 1/5 to be multiplied by 4/1, then by 9/32. So then we can cancel. 4 has 2 2's, 32 has 16. So 1.5 times 2 is 3, 3 times 9 is 27, 27/16. The same answer what we got with the previous method. 27/16 can be also written as a mixed number. So what's the amount of land allocated for paper? That's 27/16 acres. Right. This column method, if any of you are confused with the method that I employed here, we can keep things simple. How can we keep things simple? If you know the 1/4 of the estate is 1.5 acres, you can find what the entire estate's extent is. How is that? Go to multiply 1/5 by 4. That is 6 acres. But we know the entire estate is not allocated for paper. What is allocated for paper? That is 9/32. 9/32 of the estate. So what do here? You multiply the entire estate by 9/32. Same thing here then. Go to multiply 6 by 9/32. So when you multiply 6 by 9/32, 6 times 9 is 54/32. Both are divisible by 2, then you get 27/16 acres. So in all these methods, we get the same answer. It's up to you to decide which method you're going to use in the future. In some questions, this column method would be easier. In some questions, the method 1, where you build an equation and do, that would be easier. Up to you to decide. All are fine.